All right, here we go.
Drink it up, bro.
Let's start this. Dude, I'm going to be sweating my fucking
Yeah,
ass
you
off.
are.
Let me take a sip of my big ass water here.
Wow.
That's a big
Brutal.
fucking water, isn't it?
Brutal.
Yes. All right. If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 7. Still Got Game is the official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
Joel Dude I Rock Albert, are you somewhere that is cooler than the surface of the sun?
It's a blistering 69 degrees in my apartment right now. I could be wearing a sweater. Honestly, I really could be. I'm freezing.
That must be nice.
It is nice. What's it like over there, buddy?
It is, in the world of broken AC, it is 86 degrees and rising.
Wow.
Well, it was 86 steady until I turned on the studio lights here, and now it is.
Now it's 95.
It is definitely increasing fast.
I actually see the reflection of the sun on your forehead right now. So
Yes, look at this. Yes,
yeah, that is a
look at
glistening.
you could show a movie up there if you had to. Not that the sunburn wasn't bad enough, but now that the heat is really cranked.
And when you compare our two, like our video signals right here, yours just looks warmer. I mean, I look very cold and gray. I'm wearing a gray shirt. It's very wintry where I am.
Yes,
Not
here
over
I'm
there.
from the surface of the sun, literally. Yes.
Exactly.
But yeah, the AC here died over the weekend, so we are waiting for someone to come out and fix it. But like I was saying pre-show, Mondays are not the day to try to get someone to come because nobody wants to pay the extra like $300 service fee over the weekend to have someone come look at it. And Monday then becomes the busy day, and they say, "Oh, we're booked all day. We'll try to get to you when we can. Probably tomorrow, though." So tomorrow is our day, and in the meantime, you will deal with my sweaty nose, my sweaty forehead, and me maybe passing out mid-show.
I was going to say.
A rare non-alcoholic water with all of my other beverages here. So that is going to hopefully keep me alive for the remainder of the show. And I guess on that, why don't we hop in the show proper? Once again, we're still looking for someone to hook us up with an intro, 30 seconds or so. Something that says Tool to Play presents Still Got Game. We did have one submission from Acid Snow this week. It's almost what we're looking for. And I'll let you get a little taste of that, and you guys take with it what you will.
Hey, Tool to Play. This is Acid Snow broadcasting from Daytona, Florida, and I'm calling in to satisfy your request for a podcast introduction. So brace yourselves, here it comes. Tool to Play presents Still Got Game featuring Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert. Yay,
Yeah, that's not exactly what we're looking for.
So close. So
It's
close.
close. It's in the ballpark because it said the name of the show.
Right.
Yes.
And then it went downhill from there.
Yes.
Yes.
Almost the lead up to the intro
Was good.
Almost better. Yeah. This is Acid Snow coming to you live from Florida. Blah. And then it went a little higher pitched than we would have appreciated maybe for the intro, but it was definitely worth a listen. And it was funny. But,
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
we are looking for something along those lines, but I would say 7 or 8 orders of magnitude better than that.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Like if that was the bottom of the barrel, somewhere near the top of the barrel.
Right.
But it was good for a laugh, if nothing else.
Good work.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop over to feedback from last week's show? Remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Iron Fist comments. I've been listening to your show since sometime in the early episode 100s of Tool to Type Radio. I love the new show and the format change. I now listen to the video at work and watch it when no one is looking. Which I guess is one way to absorb us. We give you 3 different ways. You can come live. You can listen podcast form, all edited up, outtakes at the end. Or you can listen to the live, unadulterated stream by listening to the video. I guess it's 4 ways. You can listen to the video or actually watch the video. Or in this case, I guess he watches it until someone comes by, and then he probably alt tabs.
It's like
Alt-tab.
it's like porn.
I was just listening to music, guys.
He's watching it like porn. I love it. He's like,
Wait, you listen to porn?
yeah, you just listen to it. and then bam, oh, checking it out for 2 seconds. Oh, then back to just listening. That's how you do it.
Working.
I'm just working.
over here, guys.
I'm literally working it right now. All right. Sorry.
I get that is a quality way to absorb the show.
Yeah.
And that's what we're aiming for here is giving the widest audience the most variety of ways to take in the show, because that's how you build your audience. There's one type of person that wants to listen to a podcast. There's someone else that doesn't give a shit about podcasts. They just want to watch something. There's some people that like to incorporate the live viewing into their daily repertoire and come in here and comment and provide feedback, like these fine viewers that are watching right now. There's people that just want to watch the video later and they don't want to talk to other people. It doesn't matter. No matter which kind of person you are, we want you watching and listening. All right, and Pauly D comments, I can't be the only person who was listening to the show that couldn't believe that no one could guess Coed Confidential last week. I fucking love that show. I'm going to do my best to tune into the live version this week. I'm pulling up the list of viewers now, and I do not see anyone called Pauly D, but then again, who knows? People come in with different names, and you never know.
If
so
Pauly D's
D,
on,
if you are here,
yeah, get him in that chat. Say something.
Yeah, say something.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Come on now.
If not, you don't have a lot longer before we get to our weekly giveaway. Last but not least, Just Megan comments, I'm glad you guys covered Blizzard going to the Real Money mini shop on last week's show. I'm with Derek on this. It's only a matter of time before we get all the goodies here in the US too. I don't mind paying a small fee to level faster, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this. Now, for those of you who missed last week's show, this was one of the news stories we covered. Blizzard incorporating a Real Money shop into the game. Different here in the US versus the other side of the world where they pay hourly for games, and they're getting a little bit more of the pay to win.
Pay to win. Pay to win is
progress.
Kind of accurate for that market, I think. Yeah, they're pay to win.
So it's not quite that way here, but I was saying that I could see a time in the near future where we would see that come here. And obviously Just Megan seems to think that that would be something she'd be interested in paying for, which I said that if I was still playing that sort of game, I would definitely be interested in paying, a small nominal fee to reduce the amount of time I had to become to that competitive or end game level.
Yeah, and I think you will see that very soon. I think the contention I had was that you won't see that in the US markets for things like gear and rating and actually getting stuff for your character. They're very particular about those sort of things getting into certain people's hands. And I don't think you're going to see that for a while. But you will, I think, see the experience stuff pretty soon from Blizzard. That's a lot of money at stake there. So,
it's money they're leaving on the table at this point.
Yep. So I think we'll see it pretty soon.
It wouldn't surprise me. All right. Well, if any of you have feedback, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And in site-related news, like I said, every week we're going to do some sort of random giveaway. Last week we tried something that I thought every guy listener we had would know, some sort of porn-related thing. But no, this week we're going to go to something a little more mainstream. We're going to give away a code for Torchlight 2 on Steam to the first person that can name this correctly during the period of the show. This is now a video game theme or related song. I'm going to fire it up now, and the first person to answer correctly in the twitch.tv/tooltoplay chat will be the one that takes home that Steam code. I will give it to you at the end of the show, and good luck. Here you go. Fingers are typing. Fingers are typing.
Nothing.
No answers. But someone in chat wants to know why we're on the Terra stream page.
Because we love Terra! Bull. Terra Bull.
Yes.
That's what we call it.
We're actually on the Terra page because Terra is a low volume game on the Xbox, and we can make sure that people that are streaming the Xbox can find the show by looking us up under Terra. But if you came here for Terra, we will not be streaming any Terra this evening.
God, no.
No.
But we will gladly uninstall Terra for you. If you need help uninstalling, we can run you through that process. Find you a better game.
And if you are a Terra lover and you hit me up tomorrow on Twitter, twitter.com/Derek Nolan, I have some Terra shit that I can give you. I don't know whether it's fucking. I have all kinds of codes for Terra that I never gave away. So I got some stuff for you in game that you can use.
Good stuff.
Oh, wow. Worst section ever. Nice. All right. So once again, we will be constantly watching the chat, which nobody has picked up the right answer. So let us know if you got it, and we'll give you a code for Torchlight 2 on Steam. Wow, and the sun is really killing me here. All right, also in site-related news, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on Twitch TV, Tool to Play's editor-in-chief and my lovely wife, Tiffany Electrify Nolan, will be premiering her new show, Immature Interviews. In her first episode, she'll be interviewing Logan DeMelt and maybe someone else, possibly from Signal Studios. Those are the people that bring you Ascend, Hand of Cool, what used to be Ascend New Gods. It's the awesome new free-to-play Xbox Live Arcade game. If you're watching live tonight, you still have time to submit questions to, if you go to the homepage, there is a link right up there. It says submit your questions for Signal Studios, Immature Interviews, blah, blah, blah. Right on the homepage, go there, submit your questions, because this is going to be I think a section of gaming we see more and more growth in on the Xbox and on the PS4 in the future. Something that's been big in the PC world for a while. We're lucky enough to have these guys come on and answer a bunch of questions. So definitely hit that thread up and or the news story up and post your questions, and Tiff will hit them up tomorrow night.
Sweet.
All right. On that, why don't we jump over into what we're playing? Joel Judai Rock Albert, what have you been playing this week?
Well, if you guys are living under rocks, and sadly if you are, I feel bad for you, but I've been, the Steam sale went on, obviously. Steam sale, everyone who had any, like if you had loose change, you could pick up like 6 games, right?
At least.
Yeah. So I just bought a ton of shit. Orcs Must Die 2, I got, the list is so long that I haven't even had a chance to play it yet. I got Cities, I got everything. Torchlight 2, which actually I did play a little bit of. So I bought like 56 games in like the matter of an hour, and I just have no time to play them. So I have a lot of games now. I don't play them at all. What about you?
Pretty much how the Steam sale works.
Yeah, so you just buy everything.
Everybody buys stuff like, I might want to play that someday.
Yeah, and it's like $5. Like, I mean, it's the greatest deal ever. Even if you never play it, if you load it up once, I feel like you've still got your money's worth.
Watching the intro is worth it?
You watch that intro, you go to play like one level, and you're like, well, that was worth the money. And then you move on with your day, you know?
Because at that point, your backlog of games has like grown exponentially in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You go from having 4 games to 45 games in a matter of an hour. It's good stuff. So what have you been playing? Anything good?
I played a little bit. Speaking of our free-to-play Xbox Live Arcade game, I played a little more Ascend Hand of Cool. I like saying Ascend Hand of Cool. Until we learn tomorrow what it's supposed to be called, it's Ascend Hand of Cool. And I played some more of that this week. Not as much as Tiff. She's been going apeshit with that game. And I played one night of Halo 4, just keep the skills up. I went back to it because I took a couple weeks off. I wasn't sure how to do. And I came back pretty fucking strong, I'll tell you that. The new map changes that have gone on with the latest title update are insane. Like, every map, nothing is where you expect it to be anymore, and I still held my own. So, definitely, they're trying to keep the series fresh, keep it going, and I'm excited.
Nice.
So I can't wait. I'm going to do another night of Halo, I think, tomorrow night. So, anybody that's out there looking for me, D-Smooth, find me on Xbox Live, we'll invite you in.
Play some Halo.
Exactly. All right, and on that, we will hop over into the new releases. And there is only one new release out this week. It is a multi-platform release, and it is Smurfs 2. And this is out for the 360, the PS3, the Wii U, the Wii, and the DS. Obviously, the game is releasing this week ahead of next week's release of the movie of the same name. This is Ubisoft's Smurf-based platformer. It features over 30 different Smurfs in the game. They each have their own different abilities and traits and characteristics. The game hosts a single-player campaign that's set across the events of the movie and also has a bunch of other worlds in the game. So I think 2 or 3 come from the movie. The other 3 or 4 come from just to make it so it's actually a game that's worth playing as opposed to a short movie game. It also supports 4-player multiplayer co-op, and on the Wii U, it actually supports a 5th player doing some weird shit with that Wii U giant gamepad controller thing. Normally, the movie tie-in games suck. We can usually count the number of these that, basically on one hand, that have not sucked in all of history of movie tie-in games. But I think Ubisoft may have done the right thing here, going with the platformer as opposed to usually it's like a story-driven action adventure game or something to that effect. This is like a true platformer, multiplayer, co-op. I don't know. There's no early reviews out yet. I could see this game going either way. Some people are just looking for a nice, fun platformer to play. Some people have kids. You want to play a 4-player game. You have a bunch of kids in your house. Maybe this is that type of game. I don't know. It looks a lot better than most movie tie-in games, but I guess we probably won't know until next week or the week after.
All right, I'm gonna give it my review right now.
I could guess this, but you go right ahead.
I mean, it looks like probably the best game any of us has ever played. We can be honest there. It's probably the best thing that's ever come out. But for me personally, I just don't think the world is ready for another Smurfs game or any Smurfs game. That's just me. I mean, maybe they are. I don't know, but personally, I think they should have waited on this one. It's too much excitement.
I guess I can see that you are overflowing with excitement.
With blue excitement, if you will.
You can't even fucking control it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's eating all over the fucking camera. That's why
blue
you switch to
jizz.
me.
It's blue jizz.
Yep, clean that camera off before we go back to the too wide. But yes, that is maybe people with kids, this is probably something you're going to pick up. I've seen the first Smurfs movie. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't by any means good, but it was not horrible. I didn't pick up the first Smurfs game because it was the usual video game movie, game tie-in type thing. But this is it's a little something different. So we'll watch the reviews, and if I need something to occupy 4 kids, that becomes a real easy thing to pick up, and 4 kids can all play.
Yeah, I feel you there. On the kids' side.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we meander over into gaming news? First story?
This is coming out of the Borderlands area. So more Borderlands DLCs coming for Borderlands 2 and a bumped up level cap. Now this is this fall via joystick. Borderlands 2 will get a new DLC pack this fall. Gearbox announced at PAX Australia. The Ultimate Vault Hunter Upgrade Pack 2 will include the Digistruct Peak Challenge map and 11 levels. It also comes with a bumped up level cap of 72, and it's only $5. So that's a pretty decent deal in terms of content. According to OXM studio head Randy Pitchford said 2 or 3 additional Headhunter packs for Borderlands 2 are also on the way, starting with TK Baha's Bloody Harvest, which sees the return of Borderlands character TK Baha. If the title didn't indicate as much, which we know now. None of the said DLC is included in the season pass, which is a boo-hoo for everyone, but it is expected to launch by Halloween. Good timing for the last minute tie you over before the new console. What do you think? Well, I feel like you're going to get it because you get all this shit, but I mean.
But see, the only reason we're getting all this shit is because we've already tied into the, whatever they call this season pass thing. We have the Vault Hunter Upgrade Pack. So we have the Vault Hunter Upgrade Pack 1, which it wasn't called 1 until now. But now that we know there's a 2, let's look at it from this perspective. Even right now, our only new release out this week is Smurfs. Last week it was some other bullshit, stupid fucking release. Next week it's going to be some other stupid thing nobody cares about. And it's going to be all that way through November. So the only thing that are going to get people are the next Halo map pack, giving some DLC to Borderlands 2. It's the value adds to the games that you've already purchased where you're not investing in a whole new game. You're kind of just adding a couple more bucks to your existing investment, throwing good money after good, if you will. So I think this is probably going to do fairly well because nobody really wants to commit to a brand new title, a brand new franchise, a new IP, even a new game. Like Grand Theft Auto is going to have, it's the exception of the rule this fall.
Right.
But I think that as far as what people are willing to spend their money on coming in the new consoles, I think that DLC is the win. This is, you can do no wrong here. People have already spent money on your game. If they're looking at your DLC, it's because they liked your game. No one's going to buy DLC for a game they hate. I think this is a great idea. And I think that they're following along the same suit where it was like 2 weeks ago we covered when Halo announced their next DLC stuff coming down the pike, and it's coming in the next couple months, and it's going to carry people into the new consoles. And if you're a Borderlands person, this is the equivalent of that, and it's something just to tide you over in the current gen until we get that next gen shit. So I think it's a great thing.
I do too. And for the price, you really can't beat it. You know, they're not really ramming it down your throat. They're not taking advantage of the fact that there are no games and making it an absurd price. It's a decent price for actually quite a bit of content. And I always like Randy Pitchford. I like all those guys, Gearbox. They've always been a gamers, you know, sort of company where they give out to the gamers as much as they get. So yeah, I mean, if you love Borderlands 2, which most people do, then there's no reason not to buy. That's my personal opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so next story. This one is a doozy, and it's from some of our friends over at World of Tanks. We love these guys. They're like our homies. They're like our homies from another land. Xbox certification unacceptable for free-to-play, says World of Tanks developer, and this is from Gamasutra. One of the biggest challenges, quote, with Microsoft was the frequency of updates because of the QA process and certification process, because it takes an extremely long time. It's totally unacceptable and meaningless for free-to-play. Now, this is from the Wargaming's CEO, Victor Casilli. Casilli explained to Polygon that he's been in talks with Microsoft to try to streamline the company's certification process, because as of now, he says the Q&A certification process on the Xbox is far too long, especially for free-to-play games. And as you know, free-to-play games pretty much update daily, sometimes twice in the same day. The good thing is with online games, sometimes if you screw up, you can do frequent updates, he noted. Whether Microsoft will actually listen is a different matter, however. Quote, we are working with them to do quicker updates, unquote, he said. Quote, we will see. There is a lot of work on the technical side and the administrative side, which should resolve the acceptable quality of the product, including updates to the product, including like the speed rates and all these other things that they've been trying to change. And it's saying, so we'll see. They don't know. The Xbox 360 edition of World of Tanks was one of the bigger surprises at Microsoft's E3 press briefing last month, mainly because World of Tanks is pretty much the antithesis of traditional console gaming. I mean, if you've played the PC version, it is so fucking hardcore that just the idea of it being ported over to console made no sense at all. I mean, it is hard. You literally are like checking wind. There's calculators. It's like you got to have friends over to calculate distance of trajectory. It's insane.
The slide rule, the abacus.
It's out of control. So what do you think about, I mean, like, we kind of saw this coming down. We knew when we read about this or heard about it and talked to the guys, you know, at World of Tanks, like, wow, this is going to be a bitch with their Q&A. And no shocker, it is. So, I mean, what do you think they got to do now?
I think that their push comes at the exact right time, because we heard, I think we covered it like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe a little over a month ago, that Microsoft was changing the way that people paid to certify their games, where instead of like that residual $40,000 fuck you every time, it was, you know, you pay, and they were changing the pay scale so that like these small developers could afford to develop games, right, and release iterations of them without completely bankrupting themselves, a la Fez, which has some crippling patch for 50% of people, but the developer can't afford to patch it. I think with the free-to-play games, and we know Victor. We've met Victor. He's between him and Arthur. These two are the craziest two guys you'll ever meet. They party like nobody's business, but they are really serious about their shit, and they're serious about tanks and their games. And I remember talking to them, and I think you asked this question when we met with them in E3, and it was, well, how do you take something that's so dynamic, a game where in the free-to-play world you're making changes to balance, you're making changes to gameplay, and you're doing all this all the time, and you can't really push all that to the server end of things. Some of that's at the client side. How are you going to handle that with getting these updates? And they were kind of vague at the time, but this obviously shows that they've been working with Xbox. They're trying to say, hey, our model is different than, you know, your AAA title, or even your AA XBLA game that's an awesome XBLA game, but it's only going to need bug fixes. These games that are your free-to-play games are mostly multiplayer things. They're things that at least have a huge multiplayer component. They're things that balance and all these other things come into play, and they're things that have to be pushed down the client side. And they're going to need to make more and more frequent updates. And you can't have this 5 to 6 week process of QAing and qualling the patch and updating it. You kind of have to go more the PC world where, you know what, every once in a while we're going to patch it and it's going to completely fuck shit up. And then we're going to have to patch it again the next day to unfuck it up. And I think that's what these guys see. They've dealt with this on the PC side for a number of years. They've got 800 million, billion, quadrillion subscribers. They know how to patch and update shit daily for billions and for the entire universe of gaming.
Right.
So these guys know what they're doing. They just have to convince Microsoft that they know what they're doing. So I think this is going to be key, and I think if this pushes through for them, this is going to make it easier for a lot of other developers to hop on board and follow suit.
Yeah, this is the perfect time for all developers. I mean, we everyone's been talking about doing this and getting Microsoft to change their ways, and now we have a company that is certainly offshore. This is why I think Microsoft picked them, is because they get a lot of different people that are not from America to maybe buy a console, maybe buy the Xbox Now, and then possibly the Xbox One after. So it is a smart move to get people like this on board. So the question now is, are they going to follow suit and go the way of World of Tanks and maybe loosen up a little bit of these things? So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing all around. I'm hoping Microsoft actually sees the light and finally gets on the developer side. I mean, that's why Sony with the PS4 seems to be kicking a lot of ass, because they've taken this like, hey guys, you do whatever you want to do. This is your market. We're here to support you. Microsoft's got to follow suit. And this is one of the ways they can do it. So we'll see.
Agreed.
All right, this week's WTF story, or what the fuck as we've pretty much called it since the beginning of time, comes out of Ouya, and we've been pretty much on Ouya's side the whole time. I mean, we're champions of Ouya in the sense that
I have an Ouya.
he's got one. He doesn't. I don't know why.
Like it.
It's a door stopper. It's fantastic at holding doors, or you could throw it at someone. It's a great device. But what's even more interesting is whether or not this device is actually making money for developers. And that's what this story is all about. And it is what the fuck. Of course, the Ouya is positioned as the most open console hardware on the market. So it's fitting that developers on the system are being similarly open with their sales figures. Gamasutra and Edge have independently published sales numbers and developers' reactions from a handful of from the system's higher profile titles. Now, I'm going to butcher a lot of these people's names because I've never read them before in my life, so bear with me. Towerfall, which is one of the games, has been perhaps the highest profile game on the Ouya launch, and developer Matt Thorson seemed to be most positive about his game's performance, telling Edge sales have been better than he expected. Quote, we've made about 2,000 in sales, so far at about $15 a pop, Thorson said. So sales have been surprisingly high for a new game on a new console. The game has definitely proven itself on Ouya, and I think there's enough demand to warrant bringing it to the PC. So that's one of the more successful tales. Oregon Trail developer Ryan Wymer told Gamasutra that the game made 501 sales off of 13,112 downloads, saying he didn't know, that's brutal cut, right? Saying he didn't know if it was really worth the man hours that required the port over to the Ouya. Adam Sprague said that Pay What You Want game Hidden in Plain Sight has sold 1,900 copies with an average price of a little over $2. He said the numbers exceeded his expectations, but he's noticed that they've fallen off recently. So I think, people have gotten word about what the Ouya can do, and maybe people have decided not to purchase. Shea Pierce, he ported over Bennett's Foddy's Get On Top and has sold 520 copies for $2 a pop on 9,700 downloads. After Ouya took its 30% cut, which is a lot, Pierce said the game has earned a whopping $728. That's painful to even read. I mean, really, that's like a couple hours of man work. Sad. Nimblebit's David Marsh told Edge that NimbleQuest made $427 in profits off of its 122 purchases and 6,500 downloads. Marsh suggested the port was worth doing primarily because it was dead easy to convert the title and submit it to Ouya's store. So there is a little bit of hope there. Knife Media's Jack Shields said his twin stick shooter Red has sold just under 400 copies, enough to break even after 2.5 weeks on sale. So a lot of different figures here. Not all of the developers revealed exact figures. Bomball's creator Eric McNeil said he was pulling in about $30 a day before Ouya's cut, so that's before the cut, and said that he was a little disappointed with the figures, while Muria's Interactive Joe's Alberson said the conversion rate for Dub Wars, which is a $15 pre-order with immediate access to beta, came in at about 1%. That's not the greatest thing in the world if you're really doing any math. So going beyond sales, Gamasutra also asked developers about their experience working on the console, and most praised the company's developer support, but of course had reservations about the quality of the system's controller and the discoverability of games that were that's like the common shared criticism about the system. So all in all, as a package deal, what do you think about this story?
This story definitely has me saying, what the fuck? This is, if you look at the percentages there, like if you actually go through and take the numbers that Jay said and you look at the numbers, most of these people for the number of people that downloaded the free version on Ouya versus the number of people that bought it, it's anywhere between 0% and 5%, with the big name companies being 1%. The one developer that we saw in there that said, hey, you know what? It was worth my work. Yeah, he probably already had an Android version. It took him 2 seconds to recompile, pump out to the Ouya store. But for these other guys, they who was that? Let's see, Bennett Foddy's Get on Top. He made $728 doing a whole fresh new port of his game. Like, it was not an Android game. He ported it to Android and then Ouya after that to get it to work on the Ouya. Made $728. Now that, to some college kid, that seems like a good deal. Like, that's, a couple bags and a couple kegs or a couple nights out at the bar, maybe a little go ski trip somewhere.
Whoa, Jesus, what is happening right now?
I know. I'm taking it everywhere. But, for most people, $728 is not a make or break thing, especially if this is your industry or in your business. So whatever work he put in to take a game and do a fresh port of it, for the Ouya, $728 is not worth it. No. And I think that we're seeing this drop off more and more. We're seeing more companies shit on it. The controller is a piece of shit. Like, I tried to pretend I didn't have one, and the kids all wanted to try it. And they've all now, at this point, played through at least 1 or 2 games on it. And the buttons on the controller get stuck under the casing of the controller. So, like, sometimes you push down a button and it, like, goes a little askew to the side and gets caught underneath, and you kind of have to, like, flick it back up. Like, these are things that even if the kids notice, no hardcore gamer is going to appreciate this. So it is certainly a piece of shit. And I think that the more and more developers that realize that their money is not the time that they're putting in, the effort that they're putting in to port their titles for the Ouya is not paying back in the droves that you would assume would come from the world's, like, most giant, fastest growing, most overblown, the Kickstarter system limit. Like, this thing should have been, it should have pissed fucking Jesus juice all over your face, but it doesn't.
Nope. Yeah, and especially when it's
offended the church.
You did offend the church. It's fine though, because it's actually accurate. So technically, you're just being accurate right now. It's fine. But the truth is too. I mean, when you look at all the numbers like this, you say to yourself, well, why not just put it on Steam? Why not put it on something that, millions upon millions of people already have? And I think that's what they're noticing is, I could put it on Steam. I could probably put it on, on the Xbox and all these other places. Why even bother with the Ouya in the first place? Especially with a title like this, there's just no reason. And so I kind of feel bad for all these guys, especially the guys that are making like $700 off all this work. It's depressing. I mean, there's really no future here, I guess is what I'm saying. Unless by some reason, some crazy title comes out just for the Ouya that makes you buy that system, there's really no chance here. The titles are what sell consoles, and they don't have any. They got these shitty titles. I don't know. Sad.
It's also real hard for them to patch their hardware once it's in my hands. Like, how are they going to patch my 2 controllers?
Right. How do you patch which cannot be patched? I ask you.
All right. So that was definitely what the fuck.
Yes.
And I guess I predicted this as soon as I got my early Kickstarter version of this thing, but I think we're going to see this as a steady decline unless something amazing happens. Even if they fix all the software problems, you still have the hardware deficiencies.
Right.
And at that point, your software has to be really, really, really fucking awesome to overcome that hardware problem that people just don't like.
Yeah, definitely.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
All right, on that, why don't we quickly hop over to the mailbag and voicemails. Altius asks, you guys have been talking a lot about MOBAs in the past few weeks. With the increasing popularity and selection, do you think we'll see a bigger MOBA presence on the next-gen consoles?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason I say that is when we were at E3, we saw obviously Diablo, which really Diablo is what kind of MOBAs came out of that sort of stuff. So I think it's well suited for it. I know that a lot of people are probably going to disagree, but it is a Twitch-based game in a lot of respects, and it's a fun game to play. I don't know if you're going to have it on the level of League of Legends right away, but I certainly think that they've made great strides in getting that type of gameplay on a console system, and I don't see any reason why especially with a game like League of Legends. I always think of that game, kind of like people think of Minecraft. It's a game that anyone can pick up. You can install it, you play it. There's one map, or how, I don't even know how many maps they have now.
Yeah,
but
it's basically one map. It's easy to learn, hard to master, like we say every week.
Right. So, I mean, yes, it would be, I think, difficult to get a lot of the mechanics on a controller. I don't think that's an easy feat. But when you see a game like Diablo or like a game like that, you can start to see where they could make some changes and do some things on the actual on the system. So,
yeah, no, I think these things are going to be huge next gen.
Yeah,
like this is when you go to your E3, even when you go where most people go to a PAX or a PAX East, the League of Legends portion of PAX East was so huge. It was. They had all these tournaments going on. People were piling in there. People couldn't get enough of this. And then if you look back at the last year's PAX Prime, that sold out in 4 hours because it was they were doing it at the same time as this big, huge League of Legends tournament. It is that sort of driver of what's going on in the world. It's competitive. It's easy to pick up. It's easy to learn. You get the right team and you guys master it. You can make a shitload of money with this. We talked last week about now how these guys are real athletes according to the United States, so that they can get visas and come in and play these games. And this is the next big thing. And it's not like learning a Halo. It's not as simple as learning like a World of Warcraft. Click. 3 3 3 3 7 3 3 4 3 3 3 7 4 3 3. Like, it's not that simple. It takes a little bit more than that. It's like a World of Warcraft on crack.
Yeah.
Mixed with a little bit of Twitch speed from Halo or Gears, or whether you're a first-person guy, third-person guy, it doesn't matter. It's portable from there. It's very competitive, very fun. And I think these things are going to be huge next gen.
Yeah,
and
me too.
especially as esports gravitates towards these next gen consoles, and they figure out a way to provide an esports venue and to monetize and to provide some sort of earnings for people through these consoles. I think this is going to be super huge.
Agreed.
All right. Well, if any of you have feedback, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Comment in the episode in the Too Old to Play homepage, or email us at podcast@tooldtoplay.com. Now, before we get into the end of the show here, we do not have a correct answer for the Name That Tune from the beginning of the show. So here's your last chance at it. You have probably about 3 minutes left to answer this. Here you go. First person to name this, you get a code, Steam code, download Torchlight 2.
Nobody?
All right. Nobody? Well, you got a couple minutes.
People suck.
Like I said, literally you have until we go off air, which is going to be very soon.
Wow,
So-
even Plato has no clue. The world is ending.
And the best part of this is when we give the answer at the end of the show and everybody feels like a fucking retard.
Yep.
So-
Yep.
All right. Sponsors. Remember, we're still looking for sponsors for the new show. We've had plenty of sponsors in the past, but it's hard to resell your same show multiple times. You keep changing your name and ruining the branding they've given you. So if you want to sponsor us, tell us what you're selling. We'll tell you what you're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. 773-527-2961. Podcast@tooledtoplay.com. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tooledtoplay. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the internet, god of everything that's holy, I'm at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
And of course, you can find me at twitter.com/DudeIRock.
Also, Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/Tool to Play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/DudeIRock.
And please rate and review the podcast in iTunes. Give us 5 stars and tell people we're awesome and why you love us, why you listen, why you watch. It doesn't matter. And actually, a little tidbit for those of you that view the podcast as opposed to listen to it. I am coming up with a way to get the video version up on iTunes as well. So you could download that to your mobile device and watch it offline at some point. So that will be coming in the short term. So if that's something you're interested in, you will be able to give us 5 stars. If it was going to hold you back to 4, just give us 5 now because it's coming. And you'll be able to watch us on the road even if you have no internet, like if you're in Canada or someplace fake.
Wow.
I thought I was going to be able to roll with that. But it's just so easy to make fun of Canada. It's so fun.
We've got look at all these people in chat now that are calling all these. Oh man,
I know.
We've got some guesses here.
There's a lot of guesses and none of these are right. So I guess before we wrap up the show, the correct answer to that was the original Leisure Suit Larry.
Leisure Suit Larry. Oh, guys.
So to make our segue from porn to video games, I took the ultimate porn video game from our childhood. So
I'm ashamed of everyone in chat. Did you guys have real porn? Is that why? Did you had real porn when you were growing up? You didn't have to use Leisure Suit Larry? That's probably why.
I don't think they did.
That's probably why.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's sad. Oh well.
No. Well, next week we'll jump up to this at least millennia.
Yeah, I mean we have to get like easier and easier. So at some point, it's really just gonna be the Halo theme song, and then everyone's gonna be like, I don't know it. I don't Gears of War. What? I don't. How do we? What is it?
We'll do the Halo 2 Mjolnir remix next.
Right,
I'm gonna tell you right now. Next week's answer is.
If you show up,
you're all too stupid to get this. Just show up and be the first person. Once the audio starts playing, be the first person to say it, and you'll get a code for Torchlight 2. It's going to be the Halo 2 Mjolnir mix. Spell Mjolnir right.
You got to spell it right. That's the only requirement I feel.
Yes.
That's
and
it.
You cannot put it in chat before it actually plays.
Right. That would disqualify you. Wow.
So everybody that watched this week, now you have an added incentive to come next week early. And, I say that, but really you don't, because everybody, there's going to be 500 people to listen on the podcast. They're going to also have that same inside information. The people that watch the YouTube stream are going to have that same information, but, it is what it is. Just come and get the answer in first.
There you go.
So, I guess before we wrap up, I want to remind everybody you can tune in here every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/Tool to Play. Join us live because this is where the most fun happens and all this cool shit gets edited out and you guys all seem like you're a great audience, even if you're not.
I love you, audience.
He's just saying that to kiss your ass.
That's true. That's true.
And on that, from the surface of the sun, I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And all the way on the coldest of the moon, I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
Keep cool, kids.
Keep cool.
Stay frosty.
Like a beverage. I like cold beverages. That's all I'm saying. Good stuff. I have to fucking get out of here immediately and put out some fires and then go watch Jay-Z.
You do that. I have to go dip my head in a bucket of ice.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you really do.
Like,
that's good
H
stuff.
to the Izzo.
Yeah, that's going to happen. And Justin Timberlake's going to be there as well. So it is a well-rounded show. Well-rounded show.
Just you never know what you're going to get from him. Whether you're going to get something cool or like his new, I got my fucking bow tie on gay. I realize that's not the actual lyrics.
That is not the actual lyrics. It is very close to the actual lyrics.
Extra gay if I said bow tie.
Wow. Sarcasmo called him gay Z.
What?
Wow. Good job.
Sarcasmo, he doesn't know shit from a hole in the wall.
Sarcasmo just wants me to play Skynyrd all the time. I'm not going to do it.
Freebird.
Not playing Freebird. Tomorrow, next week, that's what we'll do. Just play Freebird instead of any gaming related anything. Just play Freebird and you can guess what it is. It's Freebird. There you go.
There's no prize. But here it comes. Guess. If I leave here tomorrow.
Oh, not metal. Wait, real metal or fake metal? Probably fake metal. Yeah,
Fake.
fake metal. Your
All
pants.
right.
All right,
Everyone,
boys and
listen, chat tonight,
ladies.
thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get out of here
for
now.
coming.
Thanks, everybody. Later, bitches. Oh, it's true. It's true. It's okay. All right, subscribe. Then subscribe. Later.